spend less on ads, make more money, right? I think that's probably the dream of every e-commerce brand or anyone that has a business. So in this video, I'm basically going to get into how we do it, right? So let's just go over the most obvious ways, right? So obviously you might want to test more videos for your ads. That way, you can get a better video, reduce your CPA. So you technically spend less to make more money, right? You can test more copies, optimize your targeting. You can start retargeting. You can do lookalike audiences. You could do, you can optimize your bidding strategies, technical stuff when it comes to Facebook ads, etc. Right? Now you can do all of these to somewhat reduce your CPA and obviously make more money while spending less on ads, right? But now the issue is this only takes you so far, and that's what we've realized. So what we've done, right, is we came up with our own thing and what we do, and it's not really talked about enough when it comes to e-commerce. So let's get right into it. So what we do is we improve our website. It's really that simple. How do we do it? We research on competitors. We research our own store as well. So when it comes to that, let me just go into a little bit. So research on competitors will look like see what works for them. So we can check maybe how they display their USPs, etc. We go into our own store, then we look at things like heat maps, scroll maps, Google Analytics to see where people drop off. And then based off that, we'll run A/B tests, right? It's really that simple, but this takes a while, right? So I'm gonna save you the trouble. And what I've done is based off our own research and our own data, I've compiled a list of 50 things, right, that you can do right now on your Shopify store. You can either just test them, right, if you have the capabilities to, which I'd recommend if you have over 50,000 visitors a month, you can test these, right? Or you can just straight out apply some of these and you'll get a higher conversion rate, right? So let's get right into it. So here's the 50 A/B tests to run for your Shopify store. And firstly, we got feature your best-selling products, right? So on your homepage, etc., you can have best sellers and feature, I'd say, your top 4 best-selling products. If they're best sellers, right, that means people are likely to buy them, right? Because they sell more. So why don't you just put them at the forefront? That way you can get more people converting, because those are maybe your good products, right? They're better than the other products. I'm not saying your products are bad, but everyone has clear best sellers and they're your best products compared to everything else. So you might as well put them at the forefront, right? Now, next thing is you want to display key information, right? For people making a purchasing decision. You want to have that above the fold, right? Or sometimes we even have it in product images. Either works, but if you go check a scroll map right now for your website, I'd say as low as only 20% of people scroll down below the fold, right? So having all the necessary information that they would need to make a purchasing decision above the fold, that way 100% of people that go onto your product page can see it, is a pretty smart idea, right? Rather than having it all the way down, which 80%, sometimes maybe even 90% of people aren't going to see. So keep that in mind. Accurate and informative category and variant labels. Now I mix these in together because they basically both cover the same thing. Now when it comes to categories, you want to make sure the name, like men, right? You want to have men's product in them. You don't want to call it something weird. You might maybe have like a theme going on with your store, so you want to call it something cool, whatever. Don't do that. Make it just clear. If you want conversions, make it clear as possible, right? Same with the variants. Sometimes people they have a product page, they have like 20 variants of that product and they call it weird names and it's not descriptive to the product. Like they'll call it the blossom cream rather than strawberry or spot cream, eczema cream, or maybe it's a scent, right? So you call it whatever the scent is, instead of calling it some extravagant name where they're gonna have analysis paralysis, right? Looking through that, because they're gonna be like, okay, what is this? So they're gonna have to go through each, they're gonna have to check the ingredients, the description, blah blah. Instead of doing that, just call it something that's actually informative and your conversion rate will thank you, right? You also want to remove links to any secondary pages, so unnecessary pages. You don't want to have links that go there. Don't take people away from the main goal, which is to get them to buy, right? You can also have a sticky navigation bar, and add to cart button. That way people can press the add to cart or click the navigation whenever, even if they're all the way at the bottom. Now AI is pretty big, right? You might as well leverage it. There's pretty good things you could do with AI. Like what we do is we have chatbots with our clients, and it resolves up to 80 to sometimes even 90 after it gets trained. 95% of our cases it resolves it, and only 5%, maybe 10% of them the support team will have to check. So we've been able to greatly cut on the client support teams, right? And they only have a couple people now, maybe 1 or 2 for some, right, answering questions, because the AI bot answers the rest. It resolves a lot of cases. So if you're not leveraging AI, right, to increase your profit margins, also just get people's questions answered straight away, then you're missing out, right? Another thing is, I see a lot of people that do CRO, they have their desktop view out, right? So they'll do it like this. you want to switch it to mobile, right? And to be specific, you want the dimensions to be, I think it's 390 by 844, as this is going to be the most popular dimension on your store. Now you can go and check this if you go to your Google Analytics, see what, which dimension is most popular. Majority of the time, I mean, every single time we've checked, it has been that aspect ratio. So 390 by 844. And you want to design your website so everything above the fold on that dimensions, because that's where most of your customers are going to be on, right? Now, use UGC, right? Now, I'm sure nowadays you probably pay for UGC, right? Or you have UGC made for you. So if you already have it, you might as well make the most of it, right? By not just posting it, but putting it on your website as well. This is basically like a review on steroids, as people will literally see a video. They can see a video of someone unboxing your product, for example, and giving a review on it, and it's going to be way more effective than let's just say having text reviews on your website. So if you have UGC content, right, make sure to use it on your website. Now, number 9, you can add a free shipping or gift progression bar to your cart. So what this will look like is if they spend, let's say 50, they get free shipping. Maybe they spend 100, they get like a free t-shirt, whatever, right? But this will allow you to increase your average order value, right? And also it gamifies the process, which means more people will just, because it's gamified, it's a bit less serious, less salesy, so they're more likely to go through their purchase. And because it's like a goal, right, if they get free shipping or if they get a free t-shirt, now they're much more likely to go ahead and complete that purchase because they got free stuff, right? Now, number 10, if you're not using Shopify, get a better hosting provider. Now, you don't have to necessarily use Shopify, but there's actually hosting providers that, I don't know what it's called exactly, but you need to look into it. But you can actually switch your server, that you use, even if you use Shopify, and you get faster speeds for your website and stuff. And website speed is a big component when it comes to conversion rate, so look into that. 11th thing you could do is clean up your code. That's going to be hard, especially if you want to do it yourself. Now you can either pay someone on Fiverr, or if you work with someone, they can probably get it done for you. Another thing is you want to use gzip compression. Now both of these things here, so gzip compression is basically where your images and stuff, you reduce the file size, clean up your code as well. It's going to improve your website speed, right? So all three of these things are going to be to improve your website speed. Actually, also number 13 as well, you want to reduce excess HTTP requests. Now, again, you're going to need to get a professional to do this as well. It's going to be close to impossible for you to do yourself. But once it's done, these 4 things here, when you improve your website speed, your conversion rate is basically guaranteed to go up. So you don't even need to test any of these anyway. You can just straight away implement all 4 of these. Now, number 14 is a clear call to action throughout the entire funnel. Now, what I mean by this is, don't have your call to action color, so the add to cart button or shop now button, have it be a completely separate color, or just make it stand out from everything else on your page. We usually do this with a separate color. That way people just know what button to click to just continue along the funnel, right? And it makes it much more easier, and it doesn't really overload their cognitive load. Now, number 15, another thing, I see a lot of e-commerce brands making this mistake, and is everything that's clickable should look clickable. Now, a big example I always see, or a mistake I see a lot of brands make, is right under the title, people usually have reviews, right? It'll be like 100 5-star reviews. Now, you can usually click that and it will take you straight down to the bottom of the page, and you can look through the reviews, right? That's usually clickable, but you can't really tell. Now, what you can do is you can add a line below that to where it looks clickable, so more people click it and go down to reviews, right? And there's a lot of other cases where this is important to do, but that's just one example that I always see. Now, number 16 is if you don't already have a cart abandonment flow, make sure to do that. Now, you also need to include a pop-up to capture people's emails, right? But this way, a lot of people just forget. Now, I'm sure it's happened to you. A lot of people just forget to finish checking out. So reminding them with an email 4 to 8 hours later is pretty effective, in terms of getting those people back onto the store so you can finish, checking out. Number 17 is allow visitors to favorite products. Now, this I really like, as it's basically a less commitment version of adding to cart, right? So obviously adding to cart is a decently big commitment, right? So once they add to cart, they're going to feel that's a big commitment. But just favoriting the product is just like, I'm just favoriting it. But it sort of has the same effect as adding to cart in terms of getting them to the finish line to actually purchase. So it's a low commitment way to basically get the same effect as adding to cart. So it's a very smart way to do that. So if you don't allow visitors to favorite your products, make sure to enable that. There's a lot of apps that do it where you can get it coded. Doesn't matter. Now, number 18 is you want to show the expected delivery date. Now, sometimes your delivery might not be ideal. It might take a little bit too long, but trust me, having that, communicated across to your customers is gonna, in the long run, it's gonna work out way better for you than just letting them guess, right? And you're gonna get a lot more conversions if you're just upfront and honest about it. Customers don't like being left, in the unknown without knowing when their product's gonna arrive, especially before they made the purchase. If they don't know, they just won't make the purchase. But if they know it'll be there in 5 days, then they can agree with that mentally and be like, okay, I'll wait 5 days and make the purchase. Now, number 19 is you want to bundle products with digital products to increase AOV. Now, this can work especially well with some products. So I'll give you an example. If you have a supplement, you can give it ebook for maybe a fitness thing, right? So ebook's obviously not going to cost you anything. You just have to write it up once and you can sell it unlimited times without actually incurring the cost of shipping stuff out, right? Or extra stuff out, or printing extra books or anything. So again, in that example, if you have a product that, let's say, creatine that helps with muscle growth or whatever, then you can have the ebook that goes along with it that's actually relevant, where it gives people other tips in order to build muscle. And just having this ebook that costs you basically nothing to make or ship out, you can increase, you can bundle it together, you can increase your average order value, or again, you could just have it as a free gift, right? It's up to you, but it will help you increase your average order value without costing you anything. So now number 20 is upselling products post-purchase. Now, I've had this happen to me, which is when I realized, okay, I need to, apply this to our clients. And it's basically where I bought something and before I already paid, and before it took me to the checkout page, or the confirmation page, I should say, they basically said, here's a limited time offer. I think it said you had 10 minutes and they gave me like a somewhat of a crazy discount where I could buy the same product for a lot cheaper. But if I press cancel, then I would no longer be able to get that deal. It pushed me over the fence and actually convinced me to purchase. So, and it works really well psychologically. You already have your card information there. You don't have to put your card information again. So make sure to utilize post-purchase upsells. Number 21 is allow customers to enter their emails in order to get notified when the product that they're after restocks, right? This allows you to not miss out on those customers. Now you can obviously get people to pre-order. That's another option, but that's going to be a higher commitment and they're going to have to wait a while. So instead, lower commitment, and they're not going to have to, necessarily pay and wait, is you can allow them to enter their email and they get notified when the product restocks and then they can buy it. So yeah. Help section visibility is number 22. And it's basically like here, as you can see here on Canva, they have a help section here, right? Or ask Canva. I think that one's AI as well. There you go. So they're utilizing AI. So you can combine this with the AI thing and have your help section somewhere in the bottom right where they can just click it quickly, get their questions answered straight away, making it much more likely that they actually end up buying. Number 23 is you want to include product videos within your product gallery or even on your product page. It's quite self-explanatory. People like to see, the entire, they want to see the whole thing. So if they're buying a phone, for example, they'd want to see every aspect of it, right? This part of it, etc. So it allows them to basically get that. You can also use, I think there's 3D renderers now. There's also those AR versions where you can basically have it put on a table, right? You can also use that. People do it with TVs and stuff like that. So they can see if it actually fits in their house, stuff like that. Something that actually allows people to just, see the product in action. And number 24 is you want to go for a more simple, look, right? And reduce analysis paralysis. You don't want to overload people's cognitive loads. Sometimes less is more, right? Now, when people's cognitive loads are overloaded, they usually want to click off your website. So you're going to have a higher drop-off percent, right? So the best way to reduce that is just make it simple, not too much text. If you can use icons, right, instead of text, make sure to do so and just reduce, the bulk, right? You want to have it simple, straightforward, just get people to buy. Number 25 is having a search box and making it quite visible, right? 27, you want to use placeholder text in the search box. This can basically just, show an example and people might see that example within the search bar and be like, oh, I actually want to search that. So it basically just leads people on in a way. So just have a placeholder text in the search box. And number 28 is the search bar should auto-correct typos. Now, a lot of people just type fast, right? And they're going to make typos. And when you do a typo for most search bars, the product they're after won't come up. So just think you don't have it or it's out of stock, whatever. So you want to make sure that your search bar auto-corrects automatically. And number 29 is similar. You can also have your search bar autocomplete, right? So it saves the visitor time. So you don't have to, type out the whole thing. So have your search bar autocomplete for them, makes the journey much more easier. And at the end of the day, the main thing you want to focus on when it comes to CRO is just reducing friction throughout the whole funnel. And number 30 is you want to have filters on collection pages, especially on a ton of products. When people go into a collection page, they can just straight away filter by price, maybe color, whatever, right? Depends on what you have. But that way, or if you have supplements, maybe they could filter by effect. So is it for muscle growth? Is it for sleep? Is it for skin? Whatever, right? They can just filter by that. But having that, makes the decision-making process way easier for the customer. Again, reducing friction, And again, leading to there being a higher chance of them buying from you, right? And completing the purchase. And number 31 is especially important if you have, let's say, clothes, right? So apparel, is you want to include the model and the product size details in the product description, right? That way, you're gonna, like with apparel, sometimes your sizing is different based on clothes. So a lot of people return, and you're gonna get a lot of returns because, or people just not buying because they're not sure about the sizing, right? If you can include the model's height, right, and the size that he's wearing, right, people can just make out what size would fit them based off of that, right? Making it much more likely that they buy, and also making it much less likely that they return, right, after, because they didn't get the wrong size. Now, of course, you're gonna still get some, but it just reduces that risk and it increases the chance of people actually going through with the purchase because they can now make a more informed decision, right? And number 32 is make sure not everything's on sale. Now, this is a rookie mistake, but I've seen big brands do this, right? Even we had a client that done this and we had to change it straight away. Now, it just makes you look like a dropshipping store. And I'm sure if you're watching this video, you're probably not a dropshipping store, right? But if everything's on sale, it just looks scammy, right? Make sure to have a few things on sale. Of course, if it's like, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, that's different. But in general, we actually had a client and they had everything on sale, right? And they were decently big as well, right? Within the perfume space it was, but they were decently big and they had everything on sale and it just looked scammy, and we changed it, and all I'm gonna say is it helped out a lot. So number 33 is, as I said, increasing your page speed in general. Now, on top of the things I already mentioned about increasing your page speed, there's a lot more you can do to do that, right? You can get a professional to help you with that, but as I said, increasing your page speed is extremely important when it comes to improving your conversion rate. So focus on that quite heavily. Now, number 34 is having payment trust badges under your add to cart button. This basically just have Apple Pay, Amex, MasterCard right below the add to cart button. It just improves trust, right? There's no disadvantage of having it. There's only advantages of having it. So it's one that you can just straight away implement, and you don't really need to test. When I mentioned using AI, right, you can actually use machine learning now to deliver personalized results on, upsells or sections like bought together. Now on the product page, if you scroll down, it'll be like complete the fit or bought together, right? And you can actually use machine learning in order to, serve people what would best fit them, right? Or what would they be interested in, right? Instead of just, showing them random stuff, which a lot of brands do nowadays, right? Number 36 is having all the necessary legal pages. I'm sure you will have this, but if you don't, make sure to have it. So this will be the shipping policy, the returns policy, etc., right? You want to have that and have that at the bottom of your page so people can just look through it. There's people that like investigating, and for those types of customers, you want to make sure to have those, right? And for legal reasons as well. And number 37 is you want to offer subscriptions. I can't begin to explain how powerful offering subscriptions is. Firstly, it increases your customer lifetime value. Secondly, it's the easiest way to scale an e-com brand. If you have a product that is, bought recurringly, so it could be supplements, skincare, whatever, right? Perfumes. If you have a product like that, if you're not offering subscriptions, you're basically just saying, I don't want money, right? Offer subscriptions, give a small discount, like 10%, maybe 15% if you're feeling a bit generous, but offer them a discount, get them on the subscription, and that way each month, a lot of them are going to stay on, and each month you're not going to start from zero, you're going to start from, let's say if you made 100k the previous month, next month you might start from 50, 60, 70, 80, depends on how good your product is and how much people want to stay on, right? But you're not going to start from zero. So now, if you make 100k again, it's going to be 180k because you already had 80k from last month's recurring payments. And it's going to make it super easy for you to scale to 8-9 figures this way. So if you can offer subscriptions and you don't currently, right, you have a product that you can offer subscriptions on, you don't currently, you're missing out. And the first thing you should do after you finish this video is go ahead and offer subscriptions, right? And number 38 is help and information pages. Now sometimes maybe they don't need to speak to AI or a support team. They can just go to help and information pages, or there's customers that prefer to do that. They don't like to speak to people. So if you just have help and information pages, that's going to be very useful. They can just get their questions answered straight away without speaking to a person, right? They might be an introvert, and again, they can then continue on their purchasing journey and actually complete their purchase. Number 39 is a scroll to the top button, pretty self-explanatory. Sometimes people, there's a small percent of people that do scroll down on the product page, for example, instead of having to scroll all the way back up, where they might be like, I can't be asked, and just leave your whole website, have a button there they can just press and it takes them straight to the top, right? Number 40 is you want to use your call to actions in your blog posts and landing pages. Now, if you have any blog posts or landing pages, especially if you write about a product, instead of just having them try to find the product, just include a call to action. You don't have to be too pushy. You can include one, or you can have a sticky one, right? Include a call to action to take them straight to a product, right? Because if they're reading about it and they've got to, let's say, 50% of the blog, they're somewhat interested. So you can add a call to action button. Number 41 is reinforce your unique selling points. Now, what this means is basically don't just have it in your homepage, right? Put it on your product page. Maybe when they scroll, they see it somewhere down the product page as well. Or maybe if they go to their cart, they see it there as well. You want to reinforce your unique selling points and keep it top of mind for people, right? Number 42 is add frequently bought together section on your product pages. Now, this obviously combined with the machine learning is what's going to get you a higher conversion rate, or in our case, we've mainly seen it give us a high average order value. And if it's, let's say, apparel and it's complementary, so they get like pants and a shirt that's complementary, maybe they like it more because it complements each other and there's a higher chance that they buy, but mainly it's going to increase your average order value, but it can increase your conversion rate as well. So now number 43 is you want to display all your social media icons, right? Now you want to have this somewhere out of the way, but for the people that do, as I said, the people that want to look into your brand, right? Having them there is important, especially if you have a large following. That way they can see you're legit, right? So it's kind of like the trust badges. It's basically just, increasing their trust. If you have a page with 100,000 followers, 300,000 followers, they're going to be like, okay, this is a legit brand that I want to buy from. And people have a herd mentality. So if they see a lot of other people interested in your brand, buying from your brand, they're going to want to buy from your brand, right? Which is why social media is good. So if you have social media, make sure to include it. Or if you don't have social media, you should have it and include it on your website. Number 44 is you want to offer bundles. Now, maybe you can't offer subscriptions, but what you can do is offer bundles, right? Bundles, instead of giving one for 20, you might give 3 for 50, maybe 45. That way it's more enticing, right? People spend more, higher chance that they buy because they're getting a deal, a really good deal usually. And it costs you nothing because you're still spending the same on ads to get this customer, but you're now just spending more. So you're making more profit per customer basically. So if you can't do subscriptions, the next best thing to do is bundles. What we usually do is if we can do subscriptions plus bundles, combine it, it gives you crazy results, right? Conversion rate wise, average order value wise. So if you can do that, do that. But if you can't do subscriptions, offer bundles. If you can do subscriptions, offer bundles with subscriptions, right? It's crazy how good results you're going to get doing that, right? Number 45 is pretty straightforward, but some brands still don't have it. I'm talking massive brands. Actually, some pretty big players I've seen, they don't have reviews. Maybe there's a reason for that, but whenever we've tested it, we've never seen a benefit of not showing reviews. So yeah, so 45 is have your reviews and show your reviews, preferably image or video reviews, right? And you want to put them at the top so people see them first. Number 46 is provide multiple payment options. This includes split payments, so like Klarna, ClearPay, I think there's some other ones in America as well. Number 47 is you want to have an automatic geolocation if you sell abroad. If you don't just sell within your country and you sell to other countries, now the payment or the price and stuff is going to be an issue, right? What you want to do is you want to have something that automatically detects their location and changes the currency and everything automatically for them. That way, again, there's less friction. They don't have to go off your webpage to then go ahead and convert the price, etc. Cause friction, right? You don't want that. You want to remove that friction, just have it automatically convert the prices and everything for you, or for them, I should say, making it much more likely that they buy, right? Now, 48 is solution problem driven call to action, right? Instead of saying add to cart or maybe shop now, if you know your customer base has a problem, right, and that's why you're selling your products, your call to action can be problem driven, right? It could be like get rid of acne, for example. You could probably make that better copy wise, but that was just off the top of my head. But instead of just saying the regular shop now, etc., shop acne cure or something like that, right? Something that's actually problem driven, right? So it's a solution to a problem. So that's a really good one that we've seen work quite well when we A/B test it. I'm pretty sure every time we've tested having a solution problem, call to action, it's worked. I'd say 9.9 times out of 10, it's worked better than just having shop now. Only times that it was not the case is for more like fashion apparel brands where, you can't really have a problem driven call to action, if that makes sense, right? Or maybe the customer base doesn't really care about it. So yeah, but other than that, I'd suggest just applying it, to be honest. Now, number 49 is remember that people skim read in an F or Z pattern. So what I mean by that is when a lot of people skim read, no one's going to read your, entire copy. So in terms of copy, when you're designing your pages, you want to have the most important information at the top, right? Because people read like this. So they'll read, let me actually draw it quickly. So they'll read like this. So some people read like this. So they go like bang, bang, right? So bang, down, right. So that's how they read. Some people read like this, right? So you want to have your key information somewhere here, and maybe here, right? Or you can have it down here as well. But yeah, just keep that in mind when you're actually designing your pages and writing your copy. And lastly, number 50 is you can have a unique selling point or benefit bar, anywhere really. We usually test having it right above the product image on a product page, and it tends to work quite well, right? But yeah, that's it for this video. As you can see, that was all 50, right? Now you can go ahead and screenshot this if you want. I'll just go right here. There you go. Screenshot this. Go ahead, maybe give it to, people that handle this in your business, or maybe you handle it. Go ahead, just go through these, apply them to your store. I want your conversion rate to skyrocket. Now guys, that's it for this video. If you liked it, there's a button for that. Subscribe so you don't miss out, as I'm posting a very consistent schedule now. And if you have any questions or recommendations on any videos I should make, right, leave it down in the comments below. But yeah guys, that's it, and I'll catch you guys next time.